Cyphers, let's talk about this is episode 5. Oh my gosh, we're halfway through the season already. Can you believe it? My special guest, as always, the very lovely Cindy. How are you doing, love?
Guys, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great because it's been a great week for you, hasn't it?
Oh, this week has actually just been favour on favour. What a week.
Yeah, listen, okay, if you don't know about Cindy, yeah, let's just say that God has his hand on her shoulder.
100%.
And this week has been immense. So literally the timing of this as well. So for those of us who don't know, can you please break down what this week has been for you and how it has blessed you? Because I'm just a spectator.
So this week, glory to God, I graduated with a first class honours degree in sports business management, and I've just got my grad job as well. So everything is just flowing, like the way time has just come, and like everything is just so evident that God is in my life. And yeah, like even yesterday, picked up my new car as well.
I was about to say that. I thought he was going to skip over that, you know. I was just like, you just got a new whip as well.
Yeah, God is so good. Like it's been a week. It's genuinely been such a good week.
And I wanted to kind of break down your journey because you're saying this like this is nothing, all right? And you know, God, like, yeah, God bless us all and whatnot, but you've put in the work.
Yeah.
So can you please walk us through the journey? You know, those times where you've got it, those times where you're like, oh my gosh, why did I do this?
Yeah.
Can you walk us through that journey for you?
So university hasn't been an easy experience at all.
You can imagine.
So in first year, I was doing physiotherapy, and I was like, a couple months in, I was like, this is not for me. I can't do it. I feel so forced into the medical field because of my parents. From coming from like an African background, it's all about medicine, get into, you know, the industry. So I was like, I can't do this. So I changed my course to sports business management and had to do the year again. So I started at the University of Hertfordshire, and I was like, okay, I'm getting the groove of this. I'm liking this. I love sport. Sport is a bit of me. I've grown up with a footballer, so I've been surrounded by sport. So I was just going into it. I was getting really good grades in my assignments. I'm like, okay, cool. Became a student rep, started working for the student union, so I was involved a lot in the university. So glory to God, I got top student of the year this year as well.
You actually skip over this stuff, man. This is big stuff. Carry on. Sorry, let me...
So yeah, second year came. I was living on campus, and I started to feel a bit isolated in a way. So I started getting a bit detached from my home in London. And I remember coming to church for summer, and I had a prophetic word. So it was to come off social media for a year. And then in my head, I was like, sorry, like, is this correct? Like, I've just been getting like 300K on my TikTok. Like, I'm getting views upon views. Like, my Instagram is booming. Everything's going well. But then the prophetic word was just from God, like, come off social media. So I was like, you know what, let me be obedient to this and let me actually follow and see what happens, because I know God wants to use me for something. So I came on social media, and I was just about to enter my third year, and I literally had no distractions. I was like, you know what, this year is grind mode, it's go mode. Let me focus on my education, let me focus on my worship, and most importantly, let me focus on my relationship with God and see what he does in my life. So I deleted all my platforms. It was not easy. There was seasons of isolation, and there was times where I would have to just go into my room, shut the door, and just get on my knees and just pray to God and just say, God, I'm here for you. Like, I'll do whatever you want. Like, I'm being obedient and I'm listening, and I'm just gonna stay focused on this path that you've got for me. So it wasn't easy. There'll be times where I'm like, oh, no one even remembers me. Like, am I still gonna have the same followers? Are people still gonna care about me? Can I still model as I don't have Instagram? It wasn't easy, but I knew the reason why I did this, because prior to this, I remember being on social media so much. Like my screen time was disgusting, like 9-10 hours a day, just scrolling. My identity was on social media. Like my beauty came from my likes and the amount of followers I got. If this TikTok went viral, that would please me. And I felt I was so in that toxic mindset of social media is my life. So I'm glad I came out of that. And during that, I say it's a wilderness season, like that pruning season where I'm being developed. And yeah, it wasn't easy, but it's been so like, there's so much evidence. Like when you look at my life, you can see I'm a walking testimony. You can see that God is using me completely, especially in my worship. So yeah, this year I've come back on socials, finished uni, and damn, here we are.
You see what I'm saying? You see, listen, I'm grateful because, you know, to know people like you.
Yeah.
We met one time.
I know. At
a few years ago. Let's not say how many years ago, but it was a few years ago.
Yeah.
On a shoot, one day, literally,
Yeah.
and I was just like, oh, this person's cool.
Yeah.
Let me connect with her. Let me see what she's up to and whatnot. And we stayed in touch ever since. And for me, seeing how you've developed, it is so inspiring, honestly. And again, like I said, the week that we're doing this,
Yeah.
the way God has blessed you, the way God's been blessing me, we can't say too much, but you know what I'm saying? But it's such a surreal blessing as well. Now, I wanted to kind of tap more into your, I don't want to say identity, but those times where, okay, you've deleted social media, you're on grind mode, but it's not easy, you know? Grind mode is not easy. You know what I mean? Hard times are come. How have you dealt with those times? You know, those times where you're like I said, you know, you changed your course. You had to redo the year. A lot of people would be like, yeah, no, I'm gonna stick this one out.
Yeah.
How did you manage that?
Okay. So with all of those like hard seasons in my life, like for example, changing my course, that's where like I really had to find God and see God in my situation. So it's easier said than done when you're in your room alone and like you feel like no one cares about you and no one understands you. That's where the spiritual disciplines have to come into place, I'm not gonna lie. And when I mean spiritual disciplines, I mean pick up your Bible every day, regardless of how you're feeling, and talk to God. Like I learned how to journal. I learned how to talk to God about how I'm actually feeling. Like I would have to sit in my room and actually just speak and just say, okay, cool, I feel isolated right now. I don't know what to do. Like God, come and fill me with your peace, because boy, I felt like even my family didn't really care or didn't understand. So I literally, all I had was God. Like no word of a lie, that's all I had. So I really had to press into that. And boy, it's easier said than done. But the peace that I felt, like just those spiritual encounters, those are all real. Like God is so real. And like once you see him for yourself, once you seek him and you say, you know what, God, I want to give you a chance. Reveal to me who you are. I promise you, you won't regret it. It's like, I'll tell you that for free, you won't regret it.
I hope so. Listen, this is the whole point of this show. I mean, like, we're just here to just ask questions and get the gems and catch them and whatnot. Yeah. And this is what I'm saying, like, the growth has been insane. Insane. Now, not to be rude, but let's put God aside and let's focus on you. You're a singer.
Yeah.
You're a model.
Yeah.
You're a talent manager.
Yeah.
Look at God. You see what I'm saying? I had to try to put him aside, but I can't ignore that. I can't ignore that.
You can't.
Can you walk us through your journey of modeling, of singing as well? Because now you sing for your church.
Yeah.
Hey. Come on,
okay.
Walk us through it.
So with modeling, so I used to live in Germany, and as a child, I did some modeling, some like kids modeling a bit. And then we moved to London in 2005, and couple years later, I was in my teen years, I got scouted for an agency in London. And I was like, you know what, let me give this modeling a try. So I went for the casting, they accepted me into their agency, I was in their books, and I just continued to do their shoots. So they would invite me for a casting, I'll go to the casting, I'll be accepted, and I'll just continue to do their shoots. However, there was a season in my modeling career where I was struggling with body image, and I know a lot of girls struggle with this as well. So when you're going on Instagram and you're seeing all these top models and they look amazing, yeah, I used to struggle with that. And I used to compare myself to a lot of the other models in my agency, and that's where like the insecurity kind of stemmed from. And I remember, it's a really traumatic story, but I was at a shoot, and the photographer was like, can you push your stomach in a bit more? You look quite fat. I'm like, Oh, okay,
Wow.
cool. And after when I went home, I didn't eat for 3 days because I genuinely felt disgusting. Like, I was like, okay, cool, I can't be a model. I'm too big to be a model. And it was so hard to get out of that season of not eating. And I know a lot of girls struggle with this as well, but you are beautiful. I'll tell you that, you are beautiful. And diversity is so beautiful. Like, listen, the modeling career has advanced now. Like, you know, we're increasing diversity, like, you know, plus size models, you know, mid-size models, which is beautiful to see. But a couple years ago, when I started properly modeling, it was not easy at all. But then recently I started doing more adverts and commercial work, which was a bit more open. So I wasn't doing like clothing, because I tried to do some shoots with like Zara and like all the top brands. And yeah, I wasn't really, you know, fitting into the clothes that they wanted me to fit into. So I was like, okay, cool, let me try the commercial modeling. So I did some adverts. That's where I met, you know, Ellis, which was really fun. Then I was like, okay, I want to do some acting as well and some music videos. So I started modeling for some good artists, which was fun.
Dutch Valley.
Let's talk about Wizkid. Let's not talk about him. Yeah,
Me not even know that. Me not know that. Sorry, carry on.
So yeah, the modeling journey it's been a journey, and I've grown in my self-image and my body image, but it wasn't easy at all. I've learned to go to the gym in a healthy manner, not to try lose 200 calories in a day. So just being healthy with my diet as well. Having good friends now to keep me accountable if I'm eating, which is I'm so blessed to have good friends. With singing now, singing is it was quite a journey, because I knew I could sing, but I was in denial, because I was like, oh, I don't want eyes on me. I don't want people to judge me.
If you hear her singing.
I don't want people to be like, oh, she didn't hit that note. Because the judgmental, like, people judge you when you sing automatically. So yeah, it took me a while to step into my calling of worship. I feel like with worship, I started start of uni 4 years ago, and I was singing, but I wasn't worshiping. So if you know the difference, singing is like you're just performing, you're just singing a song, you're just reading the lyrics. But worship is when your heart is to God and you're singing to God, and you're facilitating the presence of God. So with that, it only came after second year, after I came on social media and really dived into God. But yeah, with the singing, I did some competitions, did great in them, and I was like, okay, the confidence is coming up again. So yeah, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, with my modeling, I did a beauty pageant where I represented Nigeria. That was a fun experience, where I did Miss Africa 2019, and yeah, I represented Nigeria. I think I came fourth, which was really good. Did a bit of singing as well. Yeah, that was a good experience. But yeah, back to singing. Yeah, my confidence has come up. Like, I'm here leading worship at church, you know. People be saying, you know, Cindy, you can sing. I'm like, listen, we've come a long way.
Do you want my job? you can take it, man, because the way God is blessing you, like, I met you one time a few years ago.
Yeah.
And this is the second time I've met you.
Yeah.
I even know half of this stuff. And it's my job to research these people, you know what I'm saying? I've got to talk something about you, but that's amazing. Yeah. And I love the fact that you're able to express that with such vulnerability, but also with such confidence as well. And I can imagine some of the struggles you went through. And I just wanted to kind of talk about one. You mentioned insecurity, about yourself and your body image and whatnot. I don't want to say how did that come about, but not even why is it such a thing, but how much did it impact you, and how much of a battle was that for you? Like you said, you didn't eat for 3 days. You know, these are things that people don't really talk about and whatnot, but you know, let's normalize. Please eat healthily, to a degree. But you know, the insecurity within yourself. How do you deal with those insecurities? And what advice can you share to other people?
That's a good question. So when I was struggling with insecurity, that stems from comparison. And I feel like comparison is something we all need to deal with. Because when you see someone else, you know, wearing a bikini or driving a nice Benz, you're like, oh, I want that.
I got to get my money
You
up.
know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's like, oh, but you don't really know what they're going through. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So I learned these models, like, I've spoken to some top models, and they would literally tell me the horrific things they had to do to be able to be on that show, on that board in London. Like, people would literally choke themselves to vomit. Like, it was like, it's not a joke. Like, even doing that beauty pageant and seeing like the way people are just sucking in their stomachs, trying to fit into this ideal of what a model is. And when I started to deep it, I was just in my room. I'm like, okay, I need to learn to be content. And that's my advice with all of you girls or even guys. Like, just be content with where you are and make realistic expectations as well. Because I used to, okay, cool, I'm going to go to the gym today and I'm going to lose 200 calories. And I didn't. And I was like, oh my gosh, I still feel fat. But if I was like, okay, cool, today I'm going to lose 70 calories, I would be able to reach that and I'll feel more content. So that's the word that I've got for everyone. Just be content in yourself, make realistic expectations and set goals that you know you're going to meet, not unrealistic goals, because that ruins your self-confidence even more. So
let me tell you something. I love interviews. I love this interview. Honestly, I really do, because for me, it fills me up with just so much positivity, just so much love, you know what I'm saying? And again, to hear other people's struggles and see how you've dealt with it. You're a boss, man. You're a boss. You're a hell of... I ain't got to say too much. You're not going to say too much and whatnot. Now, again, with the singing, this is a talent that you've tapped into, and you, boy, it's doing wonders.
yeah.
To obviously, all right, cool, you're doing singing now, all right, cool, I can sing. Now to sing at church, there's a big step there, and again, across your career, you've taken these big steps. How has that been, and how have you done it?
Okay, with singing, you can have a talent, but I had a talent for God. So my gift of singing is not for me, it's for God. So he's blessed me with this ability to lead people into worship. So when I stepped into it, at first, because I was a lot in the flesh and what people thought of me, I felt so pressured. And I felt, okay, if I'm on stage and I'm not the perfect Christian, are people gonna judge me or say you can't be up there because you're not perfect? But then I've learned that who's perfect? Like, what? Like, when you read the word, you see every single person that God used was not perfect. Yeah, like even when you look at the epistle, so the New Testament, someone that was a murderer and killing Christians wrote half that book. So it's like, wow, okay, cool. So I had that aspect, okay, I don't need to be perfect. As long as I'm serving God, I'm okay. So first I had to like think of that and understand that. And then to be able to get onto stage and say, you know what, I'm going to worship. I had to make sure that before I even get on that stage, that I had to pray and I had to surrender it. Because sometimes when we sing and people always applaud us, we get prideful. And that's one thing that I've learned throughout my whole life is humility. So even when you're talking about my modeling journey and you not knowing half the stuff, it's because I have to be humble, because pride leads to destruction, and that's in the word as well. So
Pride is sin.
So I had to learn, okay, cool, something good is happening in my life. Like, not everyone knows I have a car. Like, I haven't posted that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just have to...
But that's great, though.
Yeah.
That's great, because,
Yeah.
you know, some people, you show off your blessings and whatnot, you know, so,
the evil eye.
Evil eye, you
It's a
see what
bit-
I'm saying? And that's what I love about you as well, because you're so incredibly humble, and, like, it's actually so motivating.
Yeah.
Because it's like, for the people who, and this will be my next question, for the people who want to connect with you, the way kind of I have with you, where can they find you online?
Guys, you can find me on Instagram, CindyOfficialX, on Snapchat as well, if you want to connect to me, CindyOfficialX. And listen, I am so open for conversations. I'm so open to give advice, to share my journey, my testimony, like the detox from social media. Like, if you have a gift, so I play an instrument, if you have a gift with that, like, just talking to me about, you know, websites that you can use to upskill. If you want to get into the sport industry, I work in a sports academy, so I can help you with that. Yeah, I'm definitely open for connections and people asking me questions. And even with your faith, if you need me to pray with you, give you Bible plans, connect with me on the Bible app as well. We can do Bible plans together. I'm so open to help people, because this life is...
It's tough, man. Life be lifing.
It's not easy, especially now. It's really not easy. So having a community, or having someone that can keep you accountable, or someone who's following Christ, who's being a good role model, can help you, because sometimes you're following your friends and bad company corrupts good character. So
just take my place. Take my place. Honestly, take my place, because this is, look, honestly, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna publicly say this.
Yeah.
Okay? Hand on heart. No disrespect to anyone I've interviewed before, but this might be my favorite interview.
Damn.
This might be my favorite interview. No, I'm being genuine. it's no shade to anyone because I've had great interviews and whatnot, but the way that we've connected, the way that you're able to express this stuff and whatnot, and the way like the mindset, gone clear, man. Cindy, what's next?
What is next? So obviously I've started my grad role. I feel like I'm going to continue doing this and continue tithing and donating to loads of charities that I feel called to. And yeah, just continue supporting people. I'm a youth leader, so just continuing being a role model to those young girls. Seeing like a good female role model is so important. I didn't have that, so I want to be that role model that the younger girls can look up to. In my worship, just continuing to seek God and everything else will fall into place, which is in the word as well. So yeah, just being consistent in my faith journey and being consistent in my worship and obviously my career as well. I know this is just the beginning. Getting more talent. So I manage sports and music talent. So just getting more people on my books. Yeah.
Listen, if you haven't made the connection, make the connection. Because these are the types of connections that will put you on in life. Only if you're good people, though.
Only if you're good
Only if you're good people. Bad man, stay away.
Stay away.
Bad energy, stay far away.
Far, please.
We repent you. But for the good people, come and connect and whatnot. This is what we're all about. We're here to showcase these people because I don't want to say no one, but not many people know how amazing you are, right? And when they watch this interview, some people, I got to try not to cuss here because in Jamaica, you see the bum. But some people are going to watch this and feel so inspired by this, honestly. Yeah. And this is why I say this might be my favorite interview because it's heavy, it's deep, and I love it and whatnot. So if you haven't connected with Cindy, please do, and show some love as well. Massive thank you.
One more thing actually. Listen, if God can do it for me, He can do it for you. And I'll tell you that for free. If God can change my life and turn it around, don't ever let no one tell you that He can't change your life around, man. I had to just say that. Because someone feels like, I don't know, I have a sense that if someone watches this and say, I've done too much bad or I'm too far off away from God to get close, oh my goodness, you're not. You're not. Whatever you've done, you're not. So if that's for you, please connect with me and I'll pray for you, man. Sorry.
Why are you apologizing for? This is amazing. I'm just here like, yo. Because for me, you know, some people you got like hint more and whatnot, but like this has been honestly just flawless. And this was not planned at all, honestly.
Right.
But other than like me getting you here so I can interview you, other than that, nothing else has been planned. So Cindy, a massive thank you for coming down and sharing what you shared with us as well. This is a safe and open and honest space as well. So thank you for trusting me enough to come from wherever Narnia place you're from and coming down and sharing this with us and whatnot. Yeah. Please show some love, like, comment, support, follow us, follow Cindy. Massive shout out to Cypher Films. Again, none of this would be possible without people like Cypher. And again, walking testimony, the people, I wouldn't have a talk show if it wasn't for Michael. So, you know, massive shout out. And really hope you've enjoyed this episode and we'll see you in the next one. Boy, I might need some time off. Wow. Wow.